Welcome to the Race 5 recap of the Sox Out Racing 2015 neoTrans Am Series, which took place on October 18th, 2015 at Watkins Glen International Raceway. This time we are racing on the boot circuit, and the weather changed a bit. The temperature went up about 3 degrees, and our skies had a little extra cloud cover roll in, so the track temperatures were pretty close from Saturday's practice to Sunday's race. Strength of field was 2096, and our top qualifier was Christian Chandler with a 157.87. Now this was an exciting race, having the largest grid we've had all series with 17 cars starting. As we see everybody coming around for the final part of the pace lap, you can see everybody's anxious to get it underway. There's a lot on the line here. We got this race and one more race left in the series, so everybody's got a lot to prove. As we go green, you can see everybody's trying to get a good start. Looks like some 3 wide trying to set up, but everybody plays it smart, plays it safe after last week's turn 1 spin, and gets kind of in order very quickly this week compared to races past. I know one thing that was on everybody's mind as this race got underway was tire wear. Should we pit? Should we not pit? There wasn't really a clear consensus either way. So most everybody played it by ear. As race 1 kind of winds down, not even halfway through as we enter the boot, you can tell there's a lot of battles going on throughout. Although right here we're focused on the leaders. They've already got 2 wide going through turn 5 into turn 6, and you can just see all the way back there's battles to be had. Speaking of battles, the battles for 10th and 11th on lap 3 really heat up. You got Justin Davis in the 82 was trying to make a play on the 07 of Scott Johnson, but could not make it stick. Then made it vulnerable to Craig Shelton, who's in the 808 car, and they're still battling it as we finish up lap 3. Shelton hangs on to the last 2 corners and able to get the lead through the final corner as they start lap 4. Towards the end of lap 4 and on lap 5, Scott Johnson actually makes a play on Cliff Eben. Cliff Eben trying to do a crossover, but just not enough of a gap between them to pull it off, and unable to seal the deal. But he waits it out, tries the bus stop, can't get it to stick, but he's still pushing Scott as they go through the outer loop. And he gets Scott on the inside, a very good play, learning from the mistakes in previous weeks and setting up smarter passes. Going through the outside, Scott's able to hold him off, and due to Cliff's wide line, Shelton goes underneath as they continue to battle it out. And Shelton now slides underneath and is looking under Scott Johnson. So this is a very, very close battle. 3 cars. Cliff gets a little loose. And you see in 12th position, there's also a battle going on between newcomer Brian Howard and Justin Davis. Coming through the last section here, we got Shelton and Johnson side by side, going through the hairpin here, and just a slight nudge to get Johnson wide, and Shelton takes the position, and that puts him in 9th place, and Brian Howard's able to hold off Justin Davis for 12th. Moving on to lap 8, Trent Jesmond has caught up to our leader Christian Chandler as they battle for first. Now these two will continue to chase each other as the race progresses. The question is, what happens as tires continue to fall off? By the time we get to lap 9, battle for 4th heats up as newcomer Carl Martin starts pushing Daniel Thompson as we get towards the end of lap 9. Daniel goes a little bit wide, trying to get the car under control, got a wiggle there. That's going to be just enough for Carl Martin to slide underneath and take 4th place away from Daniel Thompson. Carl Martin has actually played it safe up until this point, focusing on preserving the tires, and it seems right now it's really paying off. As we move forward to lap 11, remember that battle of cat and mouse that we were telling? talking about earlier, well, it really heats up here as Trent goes underneath Christian but is not able to hold the inside line, but shows good sportsmanship, letting Christian regain the car, and they pick up pace, not taking advantage of the slide. However, this incident does allow Justin Krudolph to catch up and make it a three-way battle for first. Now, this battle will continue for quite some time between these three cars, but one thing we've realized about battling is it does wear on the tires. Speaking of battles, lap 12, the battle for 7th heats up with Clifton Cockrell and Craig Williams going too wide through turn 5. And Cockrell on the outside, Williams on the inside. Who will get it to stick through 6 and 7? Cockrell tries the inside, pulling on Williams, but Williams is able to get to the throttle sooner and is able to hold him off despite the wiggles there coming out of the exit of turn 7. Going to turn 8, Cockrell is looking for it, but decides not to. From this point on, Williams will continue to pull ahead. But that's not the only battle taking place on lap 12. The battle for 10th is also very intense with Justin Davis and Scott Johnson, but Johnson goes wide into 6, into the grass, and a light hit into the tire wall. He's able to regain it, but he's only able to finish at 13th by the end of the race. And in lap 14, you can see that it doesn't really matter where you're at in the field. The battle for 14th is quite intense here with Horsley running wide, Cliff Eben sliding underneath, and Bill Kreisner taking 14th place, and he'll actually be able to hold on to that position till the end of the race. Lap 15, battle for second goes wrong when Trent goes wide and catches Justin Krudolph as he's trying to keep him off. There was a question of whether or not a yellow would come out, but the leaders opted not to so that the race could continue and they would not finish under caution. As we get to lap 16, Carl Martin, who's preserved his tires early on in the race, is really putting on a good show here as he's able to take away second place with 2 laps to go. However, it's just a little, too late, and he is unable to catch the leader before the race is over, despite having a tremendous amount of traction over the leader. As we see him come across the finish line, our race winner was Christian Chandler. Put on a fantastic show, but Carl Martin, for his first time out, does a fantastic job taking home second place, working his way up the field. In third place, Trent Drisman, who did very well also on his first outing despite some troubles towards the end of the race. So the race results are going to cause a big shift in championship points, with none of the championship contenders finishing within the top 3. So as we look at championship points, the second drop race has now been factored in to give everyone a clear perspective on where they'll be sitting going into the series final the following week. One thing to take note here, there is a very good chance Clifton Cockrell has a chance at the championship, albeit one thing to pay attention to here is there is a number of battles for position going into the series final. Justin Krudolph and Daniel Thompson both stated they would not be able to make it to the series final, so that puts a lot of question on who's going to take home the championship. If Clifton Cockrell is able to pull out 38 points in the final race, he can pass Justin Krudolph and take the championship win. Meanwhile, for third, the question is, can Stefan Spontig and Craig Williams, they're both within striking distance of third. So Stefan needs to at least get 32 points, or Williams has to get 34 and finish ahead of Spontig. But there's a 3-way battle for third. It's going to leave a very exciting race for Daytona. And at the end of that recap, we'll also have our 2015 neoTrans Am award ceremony. We've got 2 awards to give out to our competitors from this series. So tune into that. If you haven't already, subscribe below and check us out on Facebook. Thanks again for tuning in, and until next time, keep it between the lines.